Welcome to the bottom of the shower. I'm your host, Manda Sanj. Yes, that is how you say it. And welcome to the third episode in this series. This time, I wanted to use a car that had a little bit of speed to it. I'm sick of using these slow cars. Let's use a faster one. And what better choice to use than the fastest car in the game? I know that might sound like I'm playing the game on easy mode, but I assure you that this was a little bit more challenging than you might expect. The Speed Rocket, or the Rocket Car, whichever you prefer to call it, is the secret vehicle of level 1. 10 out of 10 speed, 10 out of 10 acceleration, 1 out of 10 toughness, and 2 out of 10 handling. As mentioned earlier, it is actually the fastest car in the game. However, it's also one of the frailest cars in the game. And let's see how well it handles the game itself. 1-1. When it comes to all of these race missions / missions which require speed, the Speed Rocket is more than capable of just breezing through the game completely. Thus is the case with level 1-1, which is just a very, very easy race. 1-2 is also very easy, and I'm probably going to be glancing over the easiest missions just from now on. Well, mainly only with this challenge run specific, but I think also maybe with others in the future. 1-3, though, was an issue. Destruction missions are where the Speed Rocket obviously really suffers. It's a very frail car and it's very easy to blow yourself up. The way I won this mission actually was just really, really close. I actually took Smithers all the way to the end, very, very close to where the fail condition would have kicked in, but I just barely managed to destroy him. I don't know how. I think I got him stuck on some kind of collision, but go me, I guess. 1-5 is a very easy, boring, easy mission. 1-6, another very easy mission. As long as you just kind of use light taps against the C-bone, you'll be fine. Don't ram into it with full force because you'll probably blow yourself up. I mean, there's a lot of wrenches around the place, but still don't risk it. 1-7 though, I have to show you this because this is just genius. Genius gameplay. Beautiful. Seems the Speed Rocket is short enough to actually make it through this little magic door. And I guarantee you that this race is most likely, absolutely, probably just completely doable if you do it the legitimate way too. But I don't want to waste too much time in level 1 because challenges are coming up and it's not in level 1. Level 2, 2-1. Skinner could very, very easily just destroy me at the start of the mission. But the rocket is so fast that you could probably just lose Skinner before you even enter the car wash. Or without even entering the car wash. Still, I did it for consistency's sake. 2-2 is just a totally easy mission, not really a problem. 2-3 though, provides me with an interesting challenge, and it comes down to the races. Yes, I mentioned race missions are easy, but it's not the fact of winning that's the challenge. It's the fact of not being annihilated by your opponent. The opposing races in this game have a lot of mass and a lot of speed, mainly because they're on a set path and they kind of have to get to the end of the path. You know, if they didn't have like a lot of mass to them, and I think it's enhanced if they are a racer AI, because obviously if they didn't have enough mass to them, they couldn't push past like vehicles in their way, and they kind of have to do that, otherwise it wouldn't really be very good design. So yeah, if this thing hits me, it probably will blow me up. I had to stay behind in most of the race, and then at the end I just zoomed on the final sprint. 2-4 is a very easy race, easy follow section, easy race section. The game, though, crashed when I won. Maybe it's because I was too far ahead. Now, interestingly, I mentioned this last time, but I did a run prior with the El Carro Loco before I stopped doing the whole wheel decide magic wheel rubbish of deciding which car I use next. And with the El Carro Loco, during 6-3, I beat the mission way ahead of Frink, and the game also crashed. So it seems that maybe this is a thing. Maybe this is a thing just because of the mod, maybe it's just because of the PC version, or maybe it happens in the console versions too. I don't know, maybe someone can inform me of this. That'd be really cool. Bloody trams, I tell you. 2-5 and 2-6 are very, very easy missions, no problems there. 2-7 though, I had to be pretty careful. Of course, it's destruction mission, 4 cars in a row. There's a lot of wrenches around the place, which is very, very handy. And the cell cars themselves are pretty frail vehicles, so it's not really too big of a deal. An eel? Not quite. I actually destroyed the last car using the speed rocket's hidden superpower, which is just called exploding. And yes, that was viable because it didn't fail the mission. Obviously, if destroying the car fails the mission, then it's not a viable thing to do. 3-1. I failed. Had to be on my second try. I've got to be really careful with the ramp jump. This is the opposite of what happened with the donut truck. With the donut truck, I was too slow to make the ramp jump. With the rocket car, I'm too fast, and I overshoot the entire thing. And I just hit like the kind of collision wall, invisible wall behind. It's ridiculous. But I also actually overshoot the final checkpoint, which is really annoying. This happens here, and it also happens later in 6-2 as well. But other than obviously not playing like an idiot, this is an easy mission. 3-2 is obviously another very easy mission. 3-3, I didn't obviously do the trick to win the mission quickly, but I was more than fast enough to keep up with Cletus and get enough hits. Pretty simple mission. 3-4 took me 4 tries to beat, which is quite fitting. Not the worst mission, and the problem is with this one is that blowing up your car actually will fail the mission. So it's not like 2-7 where I can use the explosion power to benefit me. If I blow up, I've lost. And blowing up this car is quite an easy feat. 3-5 though was actually another easy mission. This mission, which will cause us a lot of trouble going forward in the future, and already has in the past, is totally fine. Totally fine. Same with 3-6. Also another very easy mission. 3-7 though, surprisingly a first try, despite being a destruction mission against the limo, which is a fairly strong and tanky vehicle. I again use the power of explosions to win. This time that does not fail this mission. It fails 3-4, but doesn't fail 3-7. I just had to run to a wrench, and that's it. The good thing is after destroying the limo, you have infinite time to get back to Captain McAllister, so not really any problems there. Level 4 I will be absolutely just breezing over because level 4 is just so easy and boring. I don't like level 4. I think it's a really boring level. Total filler. It's kind of a shame. The other good mission level 4 really is 4-7. But that's because I'm an idiot. I just like destruction missions. They're just really satisfying. 4-1 is an easy mission, easy bump and collect. 4-2 was easy, but I did fail the first time because I chose to just go for the wrench instead of just following Cletus and playing well and not blowing up. Idiot move. 4-3 was very easy. 4-4 also was very easy, and 4-5 also was, and again, a very easy mission. 4-7 though, I beat this on my 8th try, destroying 3 big boy cola trucks with my very frail tiny rocket. Isn't particularly fun. I can't really push these things around, and the slightest tap on them will most likely damage me a lot more than it will damage these guys. Even the explosion trick doesn't work. Not because it fails the mission, because it only does about 1/3 of their health bar in terms of damage. It's not really fantastic. I just had to get be very patient with this, but not too patient or else I would have failed the mission. Yeah, definitely a challenging one. I knew from the get-go that these destruction missions would be the downfall of the speed rocket. But I can tell you that later on I will find some much worse downfalls of the speed rocket. In level 5-1, just like in 4-2, I failed on my first try because I went for a wrench over picking win the mission and just play well. But I went on my second try. I just was playing too safe. This entire run was just me playing like really safe, really careful. That's to be expected in a car this frail. 5-2 was the second try, and that was because on my first try I got absolutely bum rushed by the limo. Next attempt though was very easy, but yeah, getting past the limo at the very beginning is just the entire challenge of the mission. Can you get past the limo, yes or no? That's just how you win. 5-3 was getting a little bit too close to comfort for me, but it was still a first try. 5-4 was actually quite an easy mission this time. I was more than fast enough to keep up with Mr. Wiggum, And I think I even got to the end before Wiggum did, which is very, very good. I might be wrong though. Don't remember. I should know because I watched the footage whilst I was writing the script. But I'm an idiot. 5-5. Even though, just like with last time, I failed the world's easiest platforming challenge. Unlike last time, the rocket car is so goddamn fast that I still won on my first try. And this was a pretty bad attempt as well. A really bad attempt. Not that I failed the platforming challenge, but the garbage truck was just doing donuts for no reason. Why? I couldn't even begin to tell you. Just started doing donuts on the highway. 5-6 though. Quick cash. Oh yes, the armored truck, the big balls. What was the first try? What's the first try victory? That's so stupid to say, isn't it? We're talking about Simpsons hit and run. While it was a first try, this one attempt took me about 15 minutes. Destroying my car is a fail. And I had to be so careful, so patient, so cautious when dealing with the armored truck. I almost failed as well at the very end of the mission because Mr. Wiggum obliterated me against the car wash. And what would have been really annoying is if I died there because there's a wrench in the car wash. Thankfully, I didn't die. I just barely made it in without losing, but good golly, if I'd lost there, I would have been very unhappy. 5-7 though. Compared to the armored truck, the curator car is far easier to deal with, and this was a first try actually, which is quite surprising. It's mainly, I think, just because it's a frail car, and even though it's fast, you can easily keep up to it in the rocket car because it's very fast. Into level 6 though, 6-1 and 6-2 were very easy missions, not a problem. 6-3 was a second try. Why it wasn't a first try is because I was an idiot and just forgot Frink's pattern. How? I don't know. I just completely forgot how his pattern was. I shouldn't do, because at this point I've done actually, this is, what, my sixth run of this? Sorry, sixth run of a forced car challenge run, I guess, but good golly, I should remember this stuff. 6-4 was another very easy mission. The good thing is missions from here on out are now just basically entirely about speed, and the speed rocket, as the name suggests, can do that pretty easily. 6-5 was surprisingly a rather easy first try, which is actually very surprising, considering that I consider this to be a rather tricky destruction mission. I always found it quite a hard destruction mission regularly, but no, easy first try. 6-6, set to kill. Yeah, easy. Easy peasy first try, but it's not really very impressive when you're using the speed rocket, is it? 6-7 also was a very easy first try. This time I actually did the race the intended way, and it was still a rather tight race. This is a pretty tricky race, and I was more than fast enough obviously to win. Level 7. 7-1 is easy peasy, very, very easy. But something very strange and quite funny happened at the end. I seemed to be going so fast that I ended up phasing through Flanders' fence. Then I just had to run to the end because my car blew up. But what a strange thing to happen. 7-2 is just ridiculous. Third try. The first time I failed was just embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. Like, who has ever gotten caught between these two vehicles? Who has ever been inconvenienced by these two vehicles? These static bloody obstacles here. Unbelievable. I got caught in this position. Why didn't I just reset the car? I think I just didn't even know what I was stuck between. I forgot these were even a thing in the map. It was ridiculous. The second time I failed was because I got the cops after me, and the hearses are very fast, very big, and will just annihilate you instantly. I blew up near the end of the mission, which is very annoying. So, third try. 7-3 and 7-5 are very, very, very easy. I don't know if I mentioned this with the Family's Down, I'll mention it here. When doing the forced car challenge, 7-3 and 7-5 are like identical races, identical missions. Get from the power plant to the playground in 1 minute 40 seconds. Now in the vanilla game, it's not quite the same, unless you use the hover car for both, because in the vanilla game, 7-3 is a forced car mission where you have to use the hover car, and 7-5 you can use whatever car you want. But obviously, when you're using a forced car, these are just identical missions. The only thing different is that 7-3 starts you immediately, I think, with the barrel of toxic waste, and 7-5 starts you up with Mr. Burns. It's very annoying. 7-4 back to 7-4 though was just a very easy race. Easy escape section, plenty of time to get to the end, not a problem. 7-6, despite getting absolutely hammered by the hearses on my first try, I beat on my second try. It's just the hearses. That's just the big problem in level 7. Just don't get hit and run and you'll be fine. 7-7 though was a much nicer, much easier first try. And that's all the missions complete in the speed rocket. Now it's just time for the cleanup. I've been proper breezing through these missions, and that's just because there's not much to say. Most of the missions at this point are just kind of like level 6, level 7, and level 5 as well. A lot of it's just a case of be fast, and the speed rocket can certainly be fast. There's only so many times I can say, oh, I drove here and I was very quick because I was the quickest car in the game. Like, it gets pretty boring. But with the cleanup though, 1B was totally fine. Even though I say it's the toughest level 1 mission, you've got more than enough time when using this absolute beast of a car. Trial 1. Even though I was taking it fairly slow and steady around the corners, mainly due to this thing's just terrible handling, I was more than fast enough to win. Circuit 1. Second try. I got absolutely squashed by one of the opposing cars on the last lap, and I knew that this is where the challenge of the run would be. As always, it always comes down to the races. These AI races are so dangerous. Lots of mass and high speed just equals death on hit. It was also the race that I just found out and really truly realised and understood just how bad the handling was on the speed rocket. Now, it was never much of an issue before with the missions because you usually had a much, wider places to drive through. But with the races, you're confined to much tighter, narrower tracks, and trying to traverse around these with the terrible speed well, speed is kind of bad for another reason because it's just too fast. It's simply too fast of a car, and the handling is way too poor to deal with. Now let's look at the open wheel race car, for example. The stats of that vehicle, if going by the out of 10 stat wise, very similar to the Speed Rocket. Speed Rocket, of course, is 10, 10, 1, 2. Open wheel is 10, 10, 1, 10. Open wheel is not as fast as the Speed Rocket, but the fact that it has like such good handling makes a world of difference. Makes it a world of difference. It's also not really as frail of a car as the rocket car is. It's slightly off. That's why these kind of out of 10 things don't really work very well. Because numerous cars may have 10 out of 10 speed or 1 out of 10 speed, but it doesn't mean that they always have the exact same speed amounts, the same top speed. Sometimes it'll be less. Sometimes it is more. Depends on what it is. It's very strange. But good golly, I'm rambling, and good golly, the Speed Rocket, if it had better handling, would be a much more enjoyable car to use. Because, man, it's rough. Rough of rough. Checkpoint 1. Immaculate. I blew up. Great. Second try. 2B was a very, very, very easy mission. Trial 2 was an easy time trial. Nothing to worry about. But to be fair, the time trials are not the worrisome, troublesome things to deal with when it comes to the Speed Rocket. Circuit 2, though, could have been a very scary race, but I overtook all the other races like from the word go. It was really good. I could have actually really lapped the other races, and I did at the end. I really shouldn't have done because it was really risky. It could have just resulted in death and then me having to do the whole race again. But hey ho. Check 2, very similar to Circuit 2. the best thing to do in these races, actually really in this race in general, is to overtake the opponent as soon as possible in this car. Because you just don't want them behind you, ramming up to you and just killing you. And you definitely don't want to be anywhere near them at any point. They're far too dangerous to be around. 3B though was a very easy mission. Trial 3 was a totally fine race, not an issue. Circuit 3 though is a very scary race for a car like this. It's, you know, normally just a very chaotic race anyway, and any hit would mean death, especially with the rival racer margin at Canyonero. Pretty scary, pretty scary. I did most of the race on low health because there's not very few races in this game actually have wrenches within them. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head that have wrenches in the races are like what, Trial 1 and Circuit 7. Not many other races have wrenches. It's quite annoying. There are some others. I think Trial 4 has a wrench, but it's a bit awkward to get. Man, Checkpoint 3 though. This race was also very scary because of the very fast and very big Canyonero. It was a close race and a lot closer than I would have liked. I didn't want to say ahead of Marge, just in case she rammed you from behind, but I couldn't obviously say too far behind her in case I just lost. And with the handling of the Speed Rocket, it's just, I wish I could make tight turns. With the Speed Rocket, every corner is just an ordeal. Like, you have to prepare for a corner like 3 days in advance because of just how it's so stiff. It's a really, really stiff turning. Even with like a handbrake turn, it's absolutely horrendous trying to turn this bloody car. 4B though, moving on, is easy. So is Trial 4, easy mission. Circuit 4 could have been a very scary mission because you're up against some pretty big vehicles here, like the garbage truck and the nuclear waste truck. But I escaped the danger zone and beat the mission without much, the race without much trouble. Checkpoint 4 was also a rather tight race. Frink is fast, but I'm faster. Now 5B could have been dangerous. I mean, it's a destruction mission, but also not really a problem. I did blow up my car, but I was able to pick up a wrench and really easily catch up with Frink. Oh, sorry, with the hover car, because Frink's not in here, is he? The hover car ended up just blowing itself up, which is very good. And I had pretty low health, so I had to be careful for a bit on my drive back. But once picking up health, I was A-okay. Trial 5 though was an easy time trial, but I did have to take it slow. The potholes here are just a problem anyway, and if those things just like pinged me about, I could, be in a trouble city very soon. Luckily I wasn't. Circuit 5. Any hit from these opposing vehicles here is just death. Big vehicles here. Luckily, I could just take the opposite lane and avoid them completely. But at the very end of the race, I got very greedy, and my hubris was showing on full display. I took a very mighty wallop from the ambulance, and to be honest, I think if it was the Vogue Quimby truck or even the Farini walloping me, I might have lost at the very end. Checkpoint 5. I failed on my first attempt, right at the very end of the race. Even with this car, it was hard to catch up to Bart on the highway, and the fastest car in the game, mind you. But that is mostly due to its poor handling. If I had good handling, I'd be able to maintain the speed. But the thing with the rocket car that's really interesting, yes, it's the fastest car in the game, but you can never really maintain its top speed. You're always kind of playing with like maybe 50% of its top speed, 60% maybe, whatever. Because to really drive this car, it's mostly like you just got to like continuously like tap the accelerate button, or in my case the accelerate key. If you just try and drive, if you just try and like hold down accelerate and try and turn, you'll just die, because this thing just does not turn at all. Trying to turn this thing like without handbrake, you're basically just going in a straight line, and sooner or later you will just die. And on like curvy roads like the highway, you've got to take it pretty slow, and it's so annoying. I think if it was the open wheel, because of its great handling, it wouldn't have this issue. The rocket car, I think, is just deceptive as a car. Like, yeah, it's the fastest car in the game, but like, you'll never really be able to use it at its fastest. 6B, I destroyed the police car with the power of my big ram, and the milk truck took quite a bit of damage because it failed the very easy bridge jump somehow because it's just a bit of a crap car, and then just drifted at full speed into a wall and blew up. Fantastic. Trial 6 was the first try, so it's a tough time trial, but doable. Circuit 6, third try. Homer's dangerous. Homer be dangerous, as I wrote in the script. Fantastic. As with the other races, get ahead as soon as possible, stay that way. Homer's fast, he'll just annihilate your car. And this is a pretty narrow track. You've got to be really careful maneuvering this rocket car around. Checkpoint 6 though, took 8 tries. This baffles me. The family sedan did this in 2 tries. Rocket car did it in 8. And again, it comes down to the handling. I'd rather use a slower car with good handling rather than a faster car with no handling. That's just how I see it. Also with the family sedan, I won because of luck, but we'll ignore that bit as well. 7B, easy mission, I made the jump, boom, not a problem. Trial 7, I had to be very careful not to just fly into collision and trees and stuff and blow myself up. In the end I did a very stupid strat. The boomerang drive. Don't do this, it's not worth it, it's just dumb and terrible. But I want to try it out. Circuit 7 took 2 tries and it was a pretty close win. Luckily there's a wrench in this race and you're going to need it because the opposing vehicles fly into you with the force of like 1,000 gods. And it's pretty unpleasant if they ram into you. I had a really nasty scare at the end of the race when the hearse just RKO'd me out of nowhere. Not only did the hearse do that, but seconds prior, the coffin car did the same thing. I could have very easily died at the end, and I only walked with like a slither of health, it felt like. And checkpoint 7 for the final race was a totally easy sprint to the finish. No issues here. So in conclusion, the Speed Rocket has completed all the missions, which is of course a mission medallion, all the bonus missions for the bonus rosette, and all the races for the Gold Speed Demon trophy. So it's totally possible to beat the entire game in just the Speed Rocket. That's really, really good. But in terms of what grade to give it, now I'm going to give it an A rank. Because for a lot of the missions it just absolutely schmoos past them. But I wouldn't be surprised if you gave it like a B or a high B, because while it schmoos through most of the missions, a lot of the missions, obviously when stuff like quick cash exists and it's like 15 minutes for one attempt, it's a bit rough. And with the races, there's much better, safer vehicles to use for the races. Ones that you don't have to worry about, oh, someone sneezed on my car, I might blow up. There's much better vehicles to use, but it can do it. It's tough, but compared to like how difficult, trying to beat like what checkpoint 3 with the family sedan would have been like, or most races with a donut truck, I'd rather take the challenge of the Speed Rocket over the challenge of those 2 cars. And I mean, hey, you can't deny, you can't just ignore the fact that it beat the whole game. It's still pretty impressive. But I've been your host, Manda Sanj, and join me next time when I try to beat this game with another car. What that car may be, I don't know. Ta-ta. Much shorter.